I guess it's an easy conclusion, but you think that the fact that he was going to date Miss Ohio that night sent Shayna just over the edge?
Absolutely. I mean, that girl, she was beyond hot. Miss Ohio, she'd make the average woman jealous, but this crazy chick couldn't handle the fact that, one, he wanted to break up with her, and two, that he was moving on to someone hotter. It sent her over the edge.
Holding on. So you're saying, as not being female, Judy and I will get into what's going on with this lady's personality, which just seems very, very disturbed. But you said female would have such a rage because of that woman in that bathing suit. That would induce rage, a murderous rage?
Not the normal female. I'm poking a little fun at this.
Okay.
But I think beyond the fact that she was just obsessive over this guy, and she did not want to end this relationship, and he was moving on. It was a trifecta. It was a perfect storm.
And Judy, wouldn't you say that really what this is not so much that she is diminished by that woman, but that woman means absolute closure, and somebody with a personality disorder, probably a borderline in this case, is so obsessed with issues of going and coming and clinging and abandonment that closure of the relationship represented in that girl was enough to bring on the borderline rage.
That's right, Dr. Drew. One of the key symptoms of borderline personality disorder, as you said, is that fear of abandonment. People who have severe borderline do anything they can to avoid it. Not all of them resort to this. This is obviously in a very extreme situation.
Wait. It's not fair to people with borderline disorder to even equate them with this girl. This is like equating them with Jodi Arias, who also had some borderline features. This is sort of something beyond the ordinary, way beyond. I mean, lots of people with borderline disorder can be very productive, can be loving partners even. They are the ones that suffer. They don't bring it necessarily on other people, but it can be associated with extreme rages. And if this woman also has a little bit of empathic failure beyond the usual, you heard her say, outside is where it's happening. He's suffering. That makes me feel bad. So I got to put an end to his suffering because he's got to die so I don't hurt.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Dr. Drew, because she has these traits of narcissism, right? That it's all about herself ultimately.
Profound.
Ultimately, it's always about herself, how she's going to cover the story. Even when we are now learning all of the facts of what actually happened, he was sitting at a table. There was no aggression that was noted in terms of the observation.
Hold on. Do you guys have the pictures of the crime scene? We don't have them yet. Nancy just showed them. Lonnie, I don't know if you saw those pictures, but what you see is a chair with the guy slumped to the side of the chair, his feet still under the table, and the tabletop and the chair covered with blood. This guy wasn't going anywhere. No. He was just shot while he sat in the chair.
Yeah, he was totally defenseless in the position he was in. I mean, he was slid under the table, seemed like you would sit at a kitchen table. He couldn't get at her. He wasn't a threat to her. He wasn't being aggressive or throwing her around in any way. He was sitting at the kitchen table, and she came up to him, according to the expert. The first shot was to the head, and then she advanced closer and closer to him as she kept shooting. He then went to the ground, and she finished him off when he was laying there, totally helpless, totally defenseless, just to make sure, you know, that his suffering didn't bother her anymore.
Right.